Friends, I wanted to share with you the sermon that I preached for December's Nourish as the middle sermon of today's worship service. So, again, by the time you're getting this, we've already had the 4 p.m. service and we're preparing for the 11 p.m. lessons and carols. But I love Christmas. And it's not for the things that many people think, it's not the presents. And as I said in that other sermon, I quite dislike receiving presents. I'm not a great gift receiver. It makes me feel awkward. Then I feel like I need to reciprocate. Then I overthink about saying thank you or sending those thank you cards. It's generally a mess. But I am a decent gift giver. I love to give presents at Christmas. You can even ask my kids about that. Each year, I purchase entire stores and I wrap them and place them under the tree. And I just do it so I can see the delight when the presents are open. And I know that others are like that, and that is why I do get presents. I get gifts. But then it starts at awkwardness, and it's a cycle that just honestly makes me so anxious. But I'm not going to talk about that in this sermon, as I didn't talk about it in Nourish. Instead, I want to talk about the real reason that I love Christmas. You see, Christmas is a celebration of the birth of Christ. It is a long story, and while some of you may not know this and this may come as a shock, Christ was not born in December, not December 25th either. It was changed in the early years of the church to take over a pagan holiday. But what I love about the celebration of the coming of Christ and the celebration of the birth of Christ is this notion of hope that's seen for weeks all around the globe. For all those that celebrate Christmas, there is this aura of hope lingering in the air, and it's unlike anything else we see any other time of the year. You see, Christmas, it brings with it, yes, these celebrations, these presents, magic, and more, but it brings about hope. It is the reason that we light the candle of hope first in the Advent schedule, for the season of Christmas would not be possible without hope being shown. And only through that hope can the rest be achieved. The peace, the love, the joy, it all stems from hope. You see, there is plenty in our world around us that can cause us anxiety. There are wars, there is fighting. We know that the cost of living is skyrocketing. There are shortages on goods, there's a shortage in housing, in employment, healthcare, and so much more. There is plenty to keep us down, plenty to make sure that we feel the anxiety, the stress, and more in the daily grind. But when the holiday season comes about, there is this change. There's a lightness. A lightness truly falls over all of us, and we start to sigh. We sigh a breath of relief, as if a weight is being lifted, even for just a few moments. This is the hope that Christmas brings. Friends, Christ will be born to us as the Isaiah text tells us, and Christ will be called Wonderful Counselor, Prince of Peace, and more. Because through Christ all can be made new, all can be lifted, and through Christ we're able to release some of our burdens that we hold and allow Christ to lift them for us. For we know that we share the yoke. Christ takes some, we take some. And so when we gather to celebrate the coming of Christ, we linger and we hold on to the hope that allows us to see that in this time there can be peace, there can be love, there can be joy. Truly all because we found Christ. So as we gather today on Christmas Eve, in just a few moments before we get to really celebrate the birth of Christ, I encourage all of us to hold on to the idea of hope. Not just hold on to it, but more importantly, in the days ahead, reach for it, seek it out, dig for it, and when you find it, then hold on to it. Hold on to it for dear life, for only through that hope that can be found at Christmas, can we also find peace, can we find joy, and can we lift love in the world. You see, the rest of the year, we're going to be going through the daily motions, and we will tend to forget that Christ is available to us, available to assist us. As long as we lift to Christ what it is that we need, Christ will be there. But we tend to forget this. We tend to forget that the option is there, and so we continue. And we become so weighted down through the year that time passes us by. We simply go through the motions, then year after year, we'll come back to this holiday season, and once it arrives, it then again reminds us that Christ is there. Probably because we're talking so much about it, but it's everywhere. And so when we are reminded of it, we then realize the mistake, and we turn back to Christ, lifting away even a small amount to Christ. And in this, the sensation of hoping once again for easier days or for better times, for those simple hopes for tomorrow, they come back to the surface. And once we release that, we can do the love at Christmas. We can give more generously. We go out of our way to bring the love at Christmas to people. And we offer the peace of Christmas, of Christ, to those we meet here and there. And in all of that, in each piece of that, the Spirit and the flame of Christ will carry us until the following year. So friends, my middle message today, it's rather simple. I invite you on this Christmas Eve to lean into the hope that Christmas brings. Allow that hope to be led by love, to be led by joy and peace. And allow that hope, love, joy, and peace to be found in the world around us. But let us always remember that in all of it, in everything we do, we must first start with our Christmas hope. Amen. Friends, I just want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and God bless.